Good news for the NET Bible fans. The large print thin line edition is now available in genuine leather. They've had some other editions available in a leather soft or basically a synthetic imitation leather type material. But this is nice to see it in a genuine leather. Genuine leather, by the way, just means that it's real leather. It usually denotes that it's not a premium leather, but it is not an imitation leather or a bonded leather either. So this would be an example of another genuine leather Bible. And a lot of genuine leather Bibles traditionally have something like this. I think it's just a stamped grain here. This is an ESV large print thin line paste down liner. And the genuine leather in this is very kind of coarse and a little bit on the stiff side. Whereas what we're going to see here is something I've seen more recently from different Bible publishers with genuine leather. It's actually a little bit of a softer feel. It still might be a stamped grain there, but it's not as coarse and stiff as what you see in a Bible like this. So we'll take a look at that a little bit more, but first let's look at the box this comes in. It is a clamshell box. I like, by the way, that there's this black inside here in contrast to the light or white outside. When we look at the back of the box, you see all the information there if you want to pause and look at all of that. It does say here that it retails for almost around $100. But you can get it for cheaper than that. So a genuine leather cover, large print thin line for the NET for under $100. Let's look at it. So one thing, as I said already, is that the leather has a little bit of a softer feel. It is a perimeter stitched edge there. And the spine has a very nice, clean, simple design to it. Not a whole lot there, but that's actually really nice looking, I think. It kind of reminds me of some of the NLT Bibles, the spines, how they look. It has a nice color scheme. You see the gold gilt page edges, but what's really kind of unique about this one are the ribbons, the color scheme they chose to go with here. They have black, kind of a bright blue, and a bright green. So Nelson is one of the publishers that really make people very happy with the ribbons that they choose for their Bibles. And you can see why here. They're nice in terms of, the material and everything. It looks like a double-sided satin, but also just kind of creative with their different color schemes that they go with. They put some thought and care into those details. The inside is a paste down liner, but what is nice about this is not a paper paste down. And it looks to me like you do have some reinforcement tape on the binding here. So even though this is paste down, it has a nice sturdy construction to it, which should last quite a while. It has a presentation page on this glossy cardstock paper. And the title page. Looking at the copyright information here. This one is printed in China. It was printed in 2021. And there's the copyright information for the NET Bible, the New English Translation. It does have information here about the New English Translation. I've also done a video about this translation if you'd like to learn more about this specific translation. And also, they have the contents with the books of the Bible, and at the end there's a 365-day reading plan. There's the list of abbreviations. To the reader, features of this Bible. There's the translation team. I love the fact that they put all that information in there about the team that is behind this translation. Then we have the Old Testament title page. And the layout of the NET Thinline Bibles is really nice. It's a good size font. It's nice and darkly printed. I think that it doesn't look too cramped to me. It's actually very readable. I've been reading through the NET with a Bible like this, and I find it's very nice for reading. 2-column format, paragraph style. The verse numbers are pretty easy to pick out, which I really like, because when you have a format like this, it's not only nice for reading for long periods of time, but you could also use this in a church setting, teaching setting, no problem. You see the poetic setting here, and it is line matched, so even though there's some ghosting, it's really not a problem as you read this Bible. The paper is quite nice, in some longer poetic setting here in the book of Psalms. You can see it really just has a nice page design to it, and I believe this is typeset by 2K Denmark. The New Testament has a title page, and then as we get into the New Testament, it is a black letter text for the words of Christ. And at the end of the Bible, as it said at the beginning, there is a 365-day Bible reading plan to help you read through the Bible in a year. And then you have the maps that come in the Zondervan and Nelson Bibles. Very nicely printed. They are on glossy cardstock paper. Then you have your end sheet paste down liner here. And really, just what you're seeing a lot with these large print thin line Bibles in terms of the form factor, a little bit on the larger side in terms of height and width, but nice and thin and still pretty easy to handle, carry around. So good all-around use format. As I said, they have other editions available that they have put out before in their imitation leather or leather soft. So here's one of the large print thin lines. This is the teal leather soft. And a very similar design to it. Just really a different color scheme. But this will kind of show you the difference in quality or construction here. These are very, they're more affordable, which is nice, but you'll see the paper paste down liner does have a tendency to get creases in it. So I think that the vinyl that they have here is going to really hold up a lot better if you're using it a lot. These are still very nice though, but that is a paper paste down. But again, the form factor and layout are going to be exactly the same in both of these Bibles. I would even say the paper is really pretty much the same quality. So what you're really paying for in this edition is that nicer cover. They are both actually very nicely designed, same design on the inside. One other option, as far as a large print thin line, NET, is the art edition. And I have a review of this Bible as well. And so this is going to be pretty much the same thing, except the cover has some artwork on it. The spine also has an artistic design there. And then when you're inside the Bible here, you still have that same really nice layout that you see with all of these NET thin lines. However, with the art edition, you have artwork at the beginning of each book of the Bible that correlates with the book that you're reading, and also a nice little book introduction for each book. One of the nice things about the NET Bible is that it has some nice extra helps with the formatting. For example, in the book of Job here, it's kind of broken down into sections, the prologue, Job's dialogue with his friends, and so on. And that just helps you to see the structure of the book and help you to follow the flow of how this book is written. So some really nice formatting things with the NET Bible. However, what really makes the NET something that a lot of people like a lot is not just the translation itself, but the translator notes, which are available online. So it does say on the box here that there are more than 60,000 translator notes freely available at netbible.org. However, if you would like to get a hard copy of a NET Bible with the translator notes, Nelson does have a full notes edition. And so, just to show you how they look inside in comparison, the full notes edition here has the biblical text, but also a lot of notes. And sometimes those notes take up quite a bit of the page. So the biblical text is right in the center, and the notes would be all around the biblical text. The large print thin line editions, these ones I'm looking at are not the reference editions. These are just regular large print thin line, but they do have some translator notes at the bottom of the pages, but nowhere near as extensive as what you're seeing in this full notes edition. So if you want something for your office, for your study, with all the notes in it, that is available. But if you want a NET translation, NET translation more on the go, these large print thin lines are hard to beat. They're really quite wonderful. So that's a look at the NET Bible large print thin line, now available in this very nice black genuine leather in a very nice color scheme. If you have any questions or comments about this, please feel free to leave that in the comments section below. But thank you so much for taking a look at this with me from A Frisch Perspective.